Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. The day has finally arrived. We recently passed 25,000 subscribers on this channel, and I cannot express to you enough how grateful I am to you, my loyal audience, for getting us to that point. And as promised, with this video, we are presenting the craziest idea in MRE history. This was something that was casually thrown out in the video that I did for 15,000 subscribers, in which I introduced my wife, and she will be along in just a moment. We talked about the idea of doing an MRE charcuterie. Completely insane concept, but guess what? We did it. So I know you're all dying to see what is in this bag of insanity. So let me present to you the Dad Budget Adventures Homemade MRE Menu CC1, the MRE charcuterie. And with that introduction, also let me bring in my co-star, my wife DL. There she is. Y'all remember her?
I think they do.
I'm really surprised that y'all watch any of my other videos that didn't have her. Y'all seem to enjoy her so much in the first video that she was in. And I really kind of expected that if she wasn't going to be in the video that nobody was going to watch anymore. I'm glad y'all stuck around, and I'm glad y'all got us to 25,000 subs. I know you're dying. I'm dying to see what's in this thing. So let's get into the homemade MRE charcuterie and just see what we've managed to put together, because I think you're going to be surprised. I think you're going to be impressed. And I think this is going to make a lot of people happy. Before we can start with the food, we have to get something out of this bag. Hang on. Let me get down in here. All right.
That fit in the bag?
Yeah, it did, believe it or not.
Okay, good. That's not like special effects or anything?
This is not Hollywood magic.
Okay, good.
This, folks, is a charcuterie board that was made for me by my dear friend, Cemetery Russ. So there's a reason why my friend is called Cemetery Russ. I have two friends named Russ. One is Russ the Tool, who is a tool rep. The other is Cemetery Russ. And the reason we call him that is because he is the director of a cemetery. And he has this really cool hobby where he makes wood projects out of wood that has been felled on the cemetery property. This is a charcuterie board made out of cedar that was from a tree that was brought down in the cemetery, and he did these little resin inlays in places where there were holes in the wood. So we're using this as our charcuterie board.
Can we call that the deadwood?
Sure. Nice.
Thank you.
So here's our charcuterie board. By the way, Cemetery Russ is also the same person that built this pull-out tabletop that's been in the teardrop that you guys have probably seen in a few of my other videos. He's an amazing craftsman, and I really appreciate all the effort that he put into this. But before we set up the charcuterie, we have to see what's going to be on it. So let's get back in this bag, pull this out. Now, this was something that DL found. We were at Whole Foods, and she found this, and I was convinced we were going to have to just do jerky and dried meats and stuff like that for the charcuterie. And she found this thing, and I was ecstatic when she brought it to me. What we have is this Italian brand deli selection from Calamicos, whatever that is.
Something.
How do you say that? Somebody, leave me a comment and tell me how that's said. So this has uncured calabrese, prosciutto, and uncured capicola.
Capicolo?
And uncured capicola. This right here is going to be the centerpiece for this charcuterie board. The thing about it is this is all shelf stable. It's refrigerate after opening. It's got a surprisingly good long shelf life on it. But as long as we want to keep that around, under proper conditions, of course, that's going to stay good. And we're going to have this amazing meat selection for our MRE. Next up, because there's always cheese involved, we picked up a pack of Parm crisps. I love these things, and these are a great idea for how to use dried cheeses without having to keep up with actual cheeses and risking all the various things that can go wrong with that. Now, yes, dried cheeses with a rind have a good shelf life on them, but you also have to be careful how you store those. So this is going to give us a good option for ways to have cheese with our charcuterie board.
Generally, when you're creating a charcuterie board, you want 3 meats, 3 cheeses, 3 other
So 3 meats,
three
check.
meat. Yep.
1 cheese,
So far.
check. Let's see what else is in here. Next up, we have another one of DL's finds. She found these sweet olive oil tortas. These are like a crispy bread, and she picked up 2 of them because they're kind of thin. They feel very airy. They kind of feel like they might have gotten broken.
That's okay.
These look really cool. So this is going to be one of our bread options to go with that. And finding shelf-stable bread is a hard thing to do. You can find crackers, you can find things like that, but finding shelf-stable bread is near impossible.
What else we got?
Our next selection is another cheese.
Cheers.
This was one that I got off of Amazon, and I picked up this Happy Cow canned cheese. This was something that I had come across, and I'd had a few people that had suggested trying this, but it's a shelf-stable can of cheese, and it's supposed to be good by all accounts.
Yeah, I've never.
We're gonna find out.
Okay.
I promise it's gonna be okay. Smile. See? Yeah.
Canned cheese. We're gonna be okay with our canned cheese. Canned cheese.
Okay. Next up, we have our first fruit
Vegetable.
selection. Vegetable selection.
Fruit. Maybe. Thanks.
It's a fruit/vegetable, I think.
Kind of.
What we have for that is these plantain chips. These are sliced plantains with sea salt. We are big fans of plantains in this house. In fact, every time we go to the international market, DL gets a big bag of plantains that barely make it home. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Can't take this one anywhere.
No.
You're not supposed to start trying things yet.
I'm not.
It's part of the video process.
I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't trying anything.
She's throwing off my groove, people. All right, our next item is one of my favorites. I put in a pack of these snack time crackers. So we'll have another bread/cracker selection in here to put things on. All right, next up, we have these Siete grain-free cookies, Mexican wedding cookies. Now, I don't know how you make grain-free cookies. These are apparently one of those gluten-free, vegan-y things. We're gonna give it a try. I mean, they were there, they look pretty good. She picked them out, therefore I gotta eat them. Next up, we have one of those frou-frou fancy items that we used in a prior video. In fact, it was the prior video that she and I did together. We have a pack of Attica grape leaves stuffed with rice. These are the dolmas, which are a very popular Greek dish. I don't think this is the same brand that we had before. So I'm looking forward to trying these and seeing if they're any good. All right, so we got some chocolates to put on our board. And for that, so Gail found these Lake Champlain caramel chocolates. These are going to be a good way to top off this meal. For a refreshing beverage for this, we picked this up, and I thought this was one of the cooler things that we found. This was another find at Whole Foods, and this is the Copper Cow Coffee single serve lattes, Vietnamese pour over coffee, and it also comes with a latte creamer. So that right there has a lot of promise. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to make that here in just a minute. The last 2 things that we've got in here, we got some adult beverages so that we make sure we do this right. For DL, we've got a plastic bottle of Sutter Home Merlot. Nothing says class like a plastic bottle of wine.
Nope.
There's that.
With a screw top.
And for me, I picked up a bottle of Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack.
That bag holds surprisingly a lot of food.
It's magic.
Is it?
It's magic.
Okay. We'll go with that.
MRE magic. All right, so that is everything that is in our MRE charcuterie. Now we are going to get everything set up on the charcuterie board, and then we're going to come back and start tasting this stuff. Stick with us for a minute. We'll come right back once this thing is set up and ready to go.
Yum, yum.
Let's get these things ready.
Watch it. Okay.
You want me to make this wrong? Push these back. Those. It is complete. We've done it. We have set up the MRE charcuterie. You got to see this.
It's kind of amazing. Don't drop it.
Look at this. How completely nuts is this?
Kind of love it.
Everything on here is shelf-stable food. This right here, that is amazing looking.
This is what happens when I get involved.
Folks, we have done some odd and some really fun stuff on this channel. I don't know that we've ever done anything that even comes close to matching this. And while we were setting this up, the aromas and everything started really hitting me, and I am getting so hungry right now. We got one more thing we got to do with our coffee to get it ready. Let's get this process done so that we can try this coffee. We're adding in our latte creamer, which is really just sweetened condensed milk. All right, so let's mix that up. Get that latte creamer mixed in with our coffee. All right, so this coffee smells amazing.
Does smell good.
That's a nice coffee smell. Can't train this one. All right, let's give this a try.
That's lovely. It's very smooth.
That is a good coffee. Light bitterness, very smooth. It's got a strong coffee aftertaste to it.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad aftertaste, but once this clears, you know you've been drinking coffee. That's good stuff.
I would actually take that to work with me.
Oh yeah.
And drink that on a regular basis.
That would be a good morning beverage at camp or even at home. If you are looking for something that gives you the experience of brewed coffee with minimal work, you can't beat that. That's that copper cow stuff. Where should we start on this? I mean, where would you start? What would be the first thing on this tray that you would shove in your cake hole? What's your first thing going to be?
I actually want to try some of the sweet torta.
Get at it.
We're just going to get at it. It's the sweet olive oil torta.
Sweet olive oil torta. So that's not a combination I would ever think that I would hear. Let's try it.
Surprisingly good.
There is almost a taste of, is it fennel that I'm getting in that? Try it.
I can smell what smells like fennel.
Yeah, I think it's got fennel in
Now,
it.
I have that little bit of, I think this is
Prosciutto?
the prosciutto.
She's going all the way to the top. Mm-hmm. Does it work?
Yeah, that does have the fennel in it.
We're going to do that on one of those dollar store crackers. See how this goes.
Y'all don't judge me. I just added some of the canned cheese to mine. The bread is kind of sweet, so I wasn't expecting the cheese to blend as well as it did.
I want to try this canned cheese.
It's not bad.
It's very stiff. I kind of thought it was going to be like a cheese spread, but it is more like a cheese. I mean, it's firm. Smells really good. It's got almost an American cheese type aroma to it. What you got?
Same thing.
Just
Yep.
cheers. By the way, if anybody feels the need to say anything about the fact that I'm making DL stand behind me, it's strictly because of the way the studio's set up. She doesn't stand behind me. Well, that doesn't sound right. I never make her stand behind me. We're always side by side.
But I'm closer to the food.
She's closer to the food.
There is that.
She has the advantage.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I actually kind of like the canned cheese. I was not expecting to like it as much as I do.
And you know what works really well? Chase it with the coffee.
Chasing it with coffee.
Yeah. Plantain chips. See how these things are.
They're
DL already knows.
horrible. You'll hate them.
All right, I'm going to get a piece of this torta with some of this prosciutto and some of the canned cheese. Cheers.
Mine's on the little Parmesan chip.
So I have to comment on something. I'm not a fan of licorice, but that fennel seed flavor in that torta, I like it. It's just subtle enough that with all the other flavors that are involved in there, that it adds an accent of flavor without feeling like you've got a mouthful of licorice. That's good. That's a very different kind of flavor.
I'm going to go get more of those because that's really, really good.
Let's give these a try. These little domas make for a really decadent addition to something like this. They have such a rich flavor to them. That dill, the rice filling, the seasonings, and that texture of the grape leaves, it makes you feel like you're eating something that you shouldn't be eating in a setting like this. And it is very decadent to have an experience like that You know, if you're taking this out on the trail or if you're having it at camp or something like that, this is not something that you're going to be expecting out of a meal like this. So it's kind of a neat experience.
Okay, so I have to ask before I take a bite because I know sometimes these can be very overwhelming when they have a lot of dill
Yeah,
in
they can
them.
have way too much dill.
And are you?
These are dilly, but they're not overly dilly. Y'all didn't see that.
Yeah. No, they're not.
They've got a good balance to them.
These are something that I would eat regularly. Always love these, especially if you can stuff them with a little bit of lamb.
These are the vegetarian version of the dolmas. You can get stuffed grape leaves that have meat in them. A lot of times it's ground lamb or sometimes ground beef. And those are wonderful. But for something that feels kind of hearty, these are not bad. For something that's vegetarian, these are pretty good.
Well, and here's the thing. This is not a vegetarian board.
Nope.
This is far from being a vegetarian board, so having something that is more grain and vegetable is a good addition to it. I really like the prosciutto. I think this is probably my favorite. I don't think you can go wrong with the prosciutto on the torta, even though the torta is sweet. I'm sorry, I'm over here eating.
She's standing behind me talking.
I'm standing behind you. I am talking. I am going to eat.
Oh, we are ripping through this thing. I kept putting food on this going, there's no way we're going to eat this. And
Oh no, we're going to eat it all.
it is starting to get thinned out a little. Okay, so the Happy Cow cheese is a winner. That is surprisingly good for a canned cheese product. I mean, you could do something like this, or you can do string cheese. Choice is yours. Take this.
Or we can do both.
So this is as good a time as any to. So this is as good a time. So this is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all asked for.
Absolutely.
So this is as good a time as any to ask you if you are enjoying this content. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that we can get to the next milestone of 30,000 subs. Hit that notification bell so you can be made aware of all upcoming videos. And as always, feed the algorithm. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about this charcuterie MRE. Also, give a shout out to Cemetery Russ and let him know what y'all think of that charcuterie board that he made.
I'll tell you what I think of it. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a good size charcuterie for any event. So it's big.
Yeah. And I gotta say this too. You know, having a friend who has a backhoe and a yard full of bodies, that's a good contact to have sometimes.
Yep.
Not that we've,
Nope.
used that advantage.
Except for that one time.
Shh. Drink your coffee, deal.
I'm eating. Give me the food.
All right, I'm going to try one of these gluten-free cookies. Usually I avoid gluten-free things like the plague. I'm going to give this a shot. It smells good. It's a Mexican wedding cookie. Cheers.
I don't avoid gluten-free. I don't avoid vegetarian options. I do like meat, but I also like meat alternatives and some of the other things that you have on this. So this is actually a good tray for the both of us.
Yeah. And this would be a good thing if you were having friends that maybe are on both sides of that. Some friends that don't like meat and some friends that want to have that carnivore edition, maybe want to try some other stuff too. Yeah, as long as you don't let them touch, I think everybody'd get along with that.
They can touch.
The people. It's not let the people touch.
Oh, it's like they can touch.
I don't think I've tried this, and I don't know if this is the Capicolo or if it's the Calabrese. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna give that a try. It got buried under everything else and didn't even see it.
Oh no, I ate it. It was good.
Ooh. I think we're at that point in the meal where
I'm gonna need a glass of something.
let's get DL taken care of. There you are.
Thank you.
So in celebration of you, our audience, and all of your contributions to getting us to this point, cheers.
Cheers.
On to the next one. So we have one last thing that we haven't tried yet. We need to try out this salted caramel chocolate. So let's give that a go.
We need to eat the chocolate.
Here's some for DL and some for me. So let's give this Lake Champlain chocolate caramel a try and see if this is a good way to wrap this up.
I think it is.
That's pretty good chocolate. Better be for the price. So normally at this point in the video is when I would pop up the total cost and the nutritional content. Somebody's going to come at me for this. I'm not doing that for this one. This was such an insane overindulgence in everything. We didn't track the cost with this. All I know is that when we came out of Whole Foods, where we bought most of this stuff, we had to take out a second mortgage on the house, but we got cool stuff for you guys. So that's how much we love y'all.
Well, actually, this is a great date night. I mean, even though we're doing the video and we're taste testing, and
Yeah, we're childless tonight. We're
Yeah.
hanging out in the studio,
Yep.
recording a video and eating charcuterie and
All the
drinking
things.
wine and whiskey. This is a great date night for us, which leads me to something else. Some people may look at this and go, this is the silliest thing I've ever seen. Why would anybody do this? Picture the scene. You're an outdoors type person. The love of your life is also an outdoors type person. And you're thinking it's time to pop that question. You throw this thing in your pack, go out on the trail, go to that little lookout spot y'all like to hike to, set this out and pop the question. She's either going to shove you off the cliff for being an idiot, or there, you got your hook for the rest of your life. So
do I get jewelry with this?
there's a ring in the bag somewhere.
Okay.
You got to climb in there and try to find it.
Oh, where's the bag?
It's down there.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to wrap this one up for our completely insane, absolutely ridiculous, over-the-top, homemade MRE charcuterie, complete with charcuterie board. If you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to leave us a comment, tell us all about it, and keep coming around as we keep putting these things out and seeing how much more we can push the limits on what you can do with a homemade MRE. I don't know that we're going to be able to top this one.
Oh,
If
no,
you've
we
got
will.
ideas for how to top this, what should we do for 30,000 subs? We're going to get up there pretty quick. So if you got ideas, drop them down there and tell us about it, because we're going to have to get started on that really soon. But for now, we're going to go finish this off. This has been a whole lot of fun. It's always neat getting to hang out with DL on film. And, any other time too, but, especially when we're recording it. Wow, that really didn't sound good. Anyway, that's a wrap for this one. And until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. And we'll see you around.
Put a cracker in your mouth.
Say bye, DL.
Bye.